I created a reviving agent for Valorant, an initiator who is a necromancer. This is Relic. Relic's Q is called Grave Recall. This ability lets him temporarily revive dead teammates. Here's how it works. When an ally dies, their body stays on the map like normal. Relic can aim at that body from up to 20 meters away as long as he has a direct line of sight. After a short 1-second cast animation, the ally comes back to life. Now obviously, if this was a permanent resurrection ability, it would completely break Valorant. So the revive has a massive limitation. The revived ally only stays alive for 5 seconds. After those 5 seconds end, they collapse and die again automatically. And yes, enemies can also kill them normally before the timer expires. The revived ally returns with 100 HP, their weapon, full movement, ability usage, everything works normally. So for 5 seconds, they are basically fully alive. But here's why I think it stays balanced. First of all, the revive duration is very short. 5 seconds goes by insanely fast in Valorant. Second, Relic needs line of sight to the body. That means enemies can hold angles on corpses and punish him immediately. The revived ally becomes a huge visual target. I imagine the revived body glowing with corrupted radiant energy, so enemies instantly know, okay, that guy is temporary. You can simply stall him out, smoke him off, flash him, run away from him. Also, there's another important limitation. Relic only gets one charge of Grave Recall, so he can't spam revives constantly. You need to use it at the perfect moment. But here's where things get really interesting, because Relic doesn't only revive allies, he can also revive enemies. This ability is probably the creepiest part of his entire kit. Relic's C ability is called Hollow Posession. And instead of bringing enemies back normally, he takes control of their corpse himself. Here's how it works. Just like the Q ability, Relic needs a dead body, 20 meters range, direct line of sight. Once activated, Relic channels for 1 second. Then the enemy body rises back up. But now you control it, not the enemy player. Relic literally possesses the corpse. The possessed body keeps the enemy's current weapon, but it cannot use abilities, ultimate, agent passives. So you are basically controlling a temporary undead soldier. And honestly, this ability could create some terrifying mind games. Imagine killing an enemy Reyna, a few seconds later, she suddenly swings back onto site, shooting her own teammates. That would be horrifying in game. But again, there are important balance limitations here. The possessed body only lasts 5 seconds. It also has 1 HP. That means enemies can kill it very quickly if they react fast enough. And there's another huge downside. While controlling the enemy corpse, Relic's real body stays completely vulnerable. He can't move, he can't shoot, he can't defend himself. So if enemies know where Relic is hiding, they can punish him immediately. Now, something really important about both Q and C. They require dead bodies, and that creates a massive weakness in Relic's kit, because at the start of the attack rounds, there are no corpses yet, meaning Relic can't really initiate a site using Q or C alone. So how does he solve this problem? That's where his signature ability comes in. Relic's signature ability is called Soulcrawler, and this is the ability that truly makes him an initiator. Here's how it works. Relic equips a soul cluster and throws it on the ground. After a short activation delay, a half-buried corpse rises from beneath the floor. And honestly, visually this would look insane in Valorant. The body is partially underground, twitching, scanning area around it. The Soulcrawler has 25 HP, a 12-meter detection radius, so enemies can destroy it pretty quickly if they react fast enough. But if they don't, things get dangerous. The moment the Soulcrawler sees an enemy inside its vision range, it locks onto the closest target and begins crawling directly toward them. Not fast like a race bot, more like a horrifying aggressive zombie crawling across the ground. If it reaches the target, the enemy gets nearsighted for 2.5 seconds, decay down to 50 HP for 4 seconds. And that combo is really scary for side entries because suddenly defenders can't see properly and become extremely vulnerable. This gives Relic's team the perfect opening to push. But again, there is counterplay. The Soulcrawler is loud, slow, breakable, so coordinated players can destroy it before it reaches them. You can also reposition away from its line of sight before it locks onto you. This ability also creates synergy with the rest of his kit, because Soulcrawler helps Relic start fights, and once kills happen, now suddenly his C ability becomes available. And if a duelist dies when entering a site, you can revive them so they can get info even if they don't get a kill. So his entire kit flows together naturally. At first, he sends in the dead to initiate. Then, after players die, he weaponizes the battlefield itself. And now we get to the most chaotic part of his entire design, his ultimate. But before getting into ultimate, if you enjoyed this agent concept videos, subscribe to the channel. Also, you can join to the channel and unlock many cool perks. Relic's ultimate is called Death March. It's exactly as insane as it sounds. When activated, Relic unleashes a massive necromantic pulse across the map. Every dead player gets revived, teammates and enemies, but they return differently. Revived allies return with 100 HP, keep weapons, can use abilities, last for 10 seconds. Meanwhile, revived enemies return with 1 HP, last only 5 seconds, cannot use abilities. So the battlefield basically becomes complete chaos. Imagine a 2v2 post-plant situation. Relic presses X, suddenly the entire server is alive again. Dead duelists dash back on the site, smokes appear everywhere, players start fighting from every direction. It would feel like an apocalypse inside the Valorant round. But despite how crazy it sounds, I actually think it's balanced for an ultimate, because remember, the enemies also come back, so using Death March recklessly could literally throw the round. You need to activate it at the perfect moment. Also, all revived players are still temporary, so already alive enemies can stall the timer. Use mollies, use smokes, play distance, and eventually the undead players collapse again. I also think this ultimate should cost 8 ultimate points, maybe even 9 honestly, because the round impact is enormous. Overall, I think Relic will be one of the most unique agents Valorant has ever seen. But what do you think? Would Relic be balanced or broken? Let me know your ideas in the comments below. Subscribe for more agent concepts and check out this video where I created a skywalking agent.